Morning, folks. Day shaves with Stirling's Obsidian. This one here is the glacial form. Yeah, there you go. You see the glacial there. This one here is definitely a strong black licorice type scent. I really like this one here. It works well for my nose. And also going to be using the matching aftershave here. And I have backed up a few of these containers of obsidian just in case they decide to stop making it for whatever reason. I have it whipped up here in a very old bowl. You can kind of see that it says hotel there on the bottom. It's very thick. They don't make them quite like this anymore. This is a well hydrated lather that I've got whipped up. It's just about drippy. That sort of lather works well for me. Um, I know that might be a little bit out of the ballpark on the most of the way people work up their lather, but for me, just about drippy, well hydrated, makes it really slick. That works well for me. There's just enough cushion there, and when you're at that point, that is still very much usable. So when it's on the face, it doesn't look very thick or comes way out from the face or anything like that. But it's for me, this is just perfect for me to work up the lather this way. The shaver of the day decided to go with something that you don't see very often. Matter of fact, you don't see these on eBay very much either. And this is a Supply single edge razor here. This one here is a polished copper. Got this one here a while back. Like I say, you don't see very many of these running around. It has a black label blade in it. When they came out with these blades, I tell you, these, in my opinion, this is the best blade to get. My experience with these blades have just been fantastic. And this one here has a 2-dot plate in it also. When you first get that razor, back when it was being made, uh, you get 3 plates. You get a 1-dot, 2-dot, and a 3-dot. And of course, you know, those would be very in an aggression. And 2-dot works well for me. I can use any plate that they have to offer, but the 2-dot seems to be just that sweet spot for me where I get really nice, smooth, comfortable shaves and as well as efficient. The pre-shave soap I'm going to be using today, this one here is the February version, I guess you might say, chocolate bourbon from Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements. And this particular pre-shave soap does work well for me. I seem to, on occasion, there are times that depending on how my skin is doing, a pre-shave oil works well. But most of the time, this soap is what works well for me, is the soap. And it comes, you can find this in a stick also. Maybe not this flavor, but it does come in a stick from time to time, the pre-shave soap from Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements. But for me, I've tried a few. This one here seems to be, the pre-shave soap seems to work best for me. It's kind of like when it comes to pre-shave oil, the one that works best for me is the one from Dickenson. That one there, I think really is, it's a pretty good pre-shave oil. This is what we got for the 3D printed handle here from the Shaven Sailor. Now this knot is not the one that came with this particular handle. This is the knot that I purchased separately and glued in with the glue that I used was E3000. If you're kind of wondering about that sort of thing, what kind of glue. And I didn't use a whole lot of glue either, didn't need to. But this particular knot, it it's fairly, it is soft, but it's not the softest by any means. And for me, it does a good job lathering up, and it's almost feels like a well broken boar brush, especially if you're going to be face lathering. At least that's my experience with it. To me, this blade, Black Label blade from Supply, is a very smooth shaver. I mean, it seems like almost no matter what injector I put it in, or even from time to time, I'll even use it in a shavette, get very smooth, comfortable shaves. Just really fantastic. When I was given the opportunity to try this blade when they were first thinking about it, testing it out, I really thought this was the blade. Before, Persona was my go-to injector blade. And if you had problems with injector blades before and Persona and shit just didn't seem to work for you, this blade here just might be the one you've been looking for. And they're not too terribly expensive. What did you get? 8 of them, I think, for what, $9-10, depending on whether they're having a sale or not. But that blade is just awesome. Makes a world of difference in the shave. Some of the other injectors I've used in the past and use this blade, it just makes a world of difference in the feel of the shave. Just in case you've ever experienced a injector and just the shave didn't go so well for you, it might have been more because the blade just wasn't quite suited for you. Yeah, I tell you, it is awesome. But if you're interested in a one that is not current in the way of a supply injector razor, you might be able to find one, excuse me, on eBay, but you'll have to be pretty persistent, because I know from time to time I'll go ahead and I'll look just to see if anybody's selling one. You just don't see them very often. You see the new version available, but not so much the old one, which is to me kind of interesting. It's I think it's, to me, it speaks to how well people like the razor. To me, I thought it was a pretty good design, and not to take anything away from the new one, the SE, the one with the stop nick technology, I think is what they refer to. That one there is a great shaver in my opinion. It's pretty close to being one that's excuse me, that might be automatic pilot. Once you get used to it, there's not a whole lot of thought to it. Once you get the pressure down, which pass works best for you. Not everybody needs a 3-pass shave, much less a daily shave. My youngest son, he shaves once a week. Sometimes he might go 2 weeks. His hair growth is not like mine. If I go that long without shaving, I'm coming back with a beard, full-grown beard. He's just got, little places here and there. He doesn't necessarily have to shave every day. Even if he did a single pass, would work just fine for him. He uses the Gillette flare tip. If I remember right, it's a 1954 model. Using a little bit different setup and recording my videos. I was using a camera mount that stuck to the mirror, and after one ended up in it fell down into the sink. Luckily, the sink wasn't quite full of water. The camera was still okay, but that was that was the end of the line for that setup. So I worked up a tripod that is setting up here. I'm telling you, this is such a smooth, easy-going shave. This comes in different versions. In other words, this one here, polished copper, you'll probably be hard-pressed to find this one for sale. But there's different other versions that they probably sold many of that are not copper, but still the same setup. 3 plates. Very nice shave this morning. I still have, if it's been a while since I've had a video, but I have been using a alum block for quite some time, well over a year. Probably going closer to at least 1.5 years, maybe 1 3/4 years. I've had this alum block for a while, And I do use it on a daily basis every time I shave. And got this one here from Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements. It did have a rubber band back in the day. It's been a while. The rubber band deteriorated. It was, starting to come apart, so I took it off. Plus, it was getting in the way. But this is all that's left of one. So if you're kind of wondering about an alum block, whether it's worth the money or not, back when I got this one here, I think it was $4.50. It's lasted me this long. Like I say, I use it on a daily basis. And if it might be suitable for some people to use it on a daily basis, I can't use just the alum block. I have to follow it up with witch hazel, because this seems like it has a tendency to dry my skin out. This is my skin, and as you can tell, I'm an older guy, so younger ones, this could be a totally different story for you. But for me, this works out well. It tells me how the shave goes, especially if I'm using a blade and trying to see basically how far I can push it. Instead of using a blade for a one and done, if I go 2 or 3 shaves, if I get wholesale stinging on my face, that means, yeah, that blade's going. It is done. But it helps me gauge on how well my shave's going. This one here, I have Dickenson here. I started with this back when I first started shaving. It works well for me. I still have plenty of, looking over here, because I got Thayers over here. Also still have some Humphreys, and I also have some Stirling witch hazel. Black ice is the little brother of Obsidian, if you're kind of wondering. It is a great, really nice follow-up, and a way of guess you might say an aftershave. If you're not going to use an aftershave, don't have a need for an aftershave, a scented witch hazel that, like what Stirling has, is great to use. The scent doesn't stick around all day by any means, but it is nice while it is there. We'll go ahead and use the aftershave here. Like I say, I stacked up on this one here to make sure that if they ever do stop making it, I've got some that'll last me a good long moment. Black licorice, the scent is there. It's not a scent for everyone. It sticks in my nose for a moment, along with the glacial, the menthol, all that sort of thing. Just opens my sinuses up. For me, I struggle with my nose most of the time. Most of the time, my nose doesn't work very well, so I have to, the scents that are, I guess you might say, in your face, really strong. Something that's got menthol, spearmint, peppermint, those really stick with my nose rather well. Some of the other scents, depending on what time of the year I'm using them, don't work out all that well, because I smell it for a moment, like I do the witch hazel, and not even 5-10 minutes later, I can't smell it anymore. But that's my nose. My nose is not the best. So a lot of my videos, you'll see my favorite scents are the ones that are pretty strong, and not everybody appreciates that, especially the ladies. Open up the bathroom door, the scent rolls down the hall, my wife can smell it. In other words, it is one of those kind of scents from my nose. From my wife's nose, she can pick it up without a problem. It's definitely noticeable. Had a great shave today. Hope everybody's doing well. Stay healthy, stay safe, and smooth shaves to you.